and welcome to Newton, Iowa tonight for the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. Rustic Moon 151 here. The B main about to get underway here. I'm Justin Kolb alongside Greg Rentz. And Greg, this 7/8 mile racetrack looks a lot bigger than it really is and should provide a lot of room for racing here tonight.
Yeah, this track, you would look at it and you'd expect it to drive like a big super speedway, but this is a short track, just under a mile in length, and it's going to be one heck of a show as we've got a lot of fast cars ready to go in this one. And this B main is stacked. We've got 4 previous main event winners on the iRacing Tour this season in this B main, Justin.
Absolutely. A little surprising to see that, but it just shows the competition we have here tonight for this race in Iowa. So should make this B main that much more interesting, Greg, knowing that you got a lot of fast guys who are going to have to race their way in or possibly get that provisional, but preferably I'm sure they'd want to get into that top 6 and make it in.
Definitely, and one guy in this B main who's definitely going to be looking for redemption after the last race out in Myrtle Beach is Garrett Huffines for 42. Looks like he's going to be pulling off on the pole of this one. He was up in the 4th position early on in that race in Myrtle Beach. However, connection issues dropped him out of the race on right around lap 20 while running in the 4th position. So Garrett Huffines definitely is going to be looking for some redemption here tonight at Iowa.
Absolutely. So we mentioned how wide this racetrack is. You can see it just through the corner. Really 3 lanes here. I don't think you'll see anybody really take that top side, but I think the middle to low groove is going to be where it's going to be preferred. And coming out of those corners, you can really, it lends itself to that arc. You can see that car just in front of Adam Holm riding on board with, kind of just ease it up the track. And talking in practice, it's kind of what these guys have been doing so far this weekend and practice that we had earlier. So these guys are ready and having to race their way in here tonight in the B main. Top 6 will advance, and then we will have 2 provisionals in terms of points, which we will get to in the A main later here tonight.
Getting down towards nitty-gritty time here in the Northwest Tour also, as this is not an early season anymore. We are really starting to get down into the meat and potatoes of this season with this trip to Iowa, marking race number 8 on the tour. And Justin, this season so far has been the Jason Berg show, really.
Absolutely, and you can say that again. And he kind of said to us last week, man, you guys got to stop talking about us. Well, when you have a 93-point lead over second place and as dominant as you are, it's kind of hard not to talk about him. But he's not in this race here tonight, so I'm sure we will say his name plenty in the A main a little bit later. But everybody's getting ready to grid up. B main just about to begin, so this will be a 50-lap race here tonight. No pitting will be required. You will have to later in the A main. Again, we'll get to that once that comes around. But 40 or 50 laps around the 7/8 mile racetrack should be really racy and should see a lot of action here tonight.
As they grid up, we're taking a look at the field for this B main. And Justin, B mains this year, they've been getting better, but these have been very interesting throughout the course of the season.
Yes, sir, and only started recently broadcasting them, so you guys could see what all happens in these races too. And like you said, they've been getting better. Sometimes they can be a little bit iffy in terms of the racing they provide, but tonight, again, we mentioned 4 past winners in here. It should be a very fantastic show. So I believe it'll be 1 pace lap. Could be wrong about that. We'll see when the pace car will pull down.
Looks like the lights are off on the pace car. So all signs say we're going green. Field in the hands of Matt Hackathorn driving the number 44 car. New look for Hackathorn tonight as we get set. 50 laps for this B main. Pace car stayed out, so they tricked us as we get set to go racing. Justin, 50 laps coming up here for this B main at Iowa.
Yes, sir, and I keep saying it. It just looks so much bigger than it really is, this track. It can kind of deceive you, and It leaves, like we said, a lot of room open for racing, a lot of lines. So, could see 2, 3, possibly even 4 wide here tonight if they want to get that bold. But no place is out of bounds here tonight. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys can do on this very wide and not too highly banked racetrack. There's your pole sitter right there, Matt Hackathorn. Bill Ross Jr. in the 25 starting next to him on the front row here.
Chance Overholt, Josh Robinson making up row number 2. Overholt, a win at Martinsville.
All right. Pace car will be bringing it down this time, and it will leave the field in the hands of Matt Hackathorn. 50 laps here tonight for the B main at Iowa. Green flag is out, and we are racing at Iowa.
What a start by Matt Hackathorn in the 44. Not sure Bill Ross was ready for that as he's struggling to get going. Overholt's already gotten by him, as has Gary LaViolet and Josh Robinson. Ross in trouble early in the 25. Is out at home. Almost got him, but he hit the wall.
And that's going to turn him around. A lot of cars involved in that one. The 45, I saw Daryl Tidrick in the wall as well. Not too much contact, and Adam Holm on his roof. And that looks like it possibly is going to be an early exit here tonight before that 69 car.
Caught the wall on exit, bounced off Bill Ross. James Paulson gets collected. Garrett Huffines. Boy, Sean Brightsman, the 46, did a great job getting through that. The Richmond winner earlier this season. And maybe with this track drawing as many comparisons to Richmond as it did, a lot of people might have been expecting Brightsman to be right up there near the top of the charts in qualifying.
And that is a shame, though, for that 69. Just caught the wall and could never get the handling back with it. So I imagine that's probably going to do some heavy suspension damage as well. So I have a feeling that the 69 will most likely not be making the A main here tonight, if he can even get back in this field for the B main. And on his roof, there go the antennas, and no more on board from that 69.
So tough break for Adam Holm on the opening lap as he had the run on the outside of Bill Ross Jr. And Ross did not get a good start there, Justin. Thought maybe Hackathorn just beat him to the punch, but it was more than that, as Ross went from 2nd to 5th in the early stages and was in jeopardy of losing another spot to Holm when that accident happened.
Yeah, that could have been a situation where possibly in the wrong gear. This is, I'd have to imagine, their first start of the night, so maybe just chose the wrong gear for that restart. But like you said, he got put 3 wide in a hurry very quickly here tonight, and now he knows what not to do for this next restart. Only dropped back to 5th, though, so not all said and done, not too bad of a loss, but he'll have to work his way back up to the front a little bit, still in advancing position right now.
And still a long way to go, so by no means is he out of the mix. He is still in a transfer spot. We take 6 from the B main to the A main along with 2 provisionals, so he's still in the transfer spot, but he's definitely going to want a better start than that, because another start like that will drop him outside of that transfer position and find himself in a big hole.
Speaking of the transfer position, we have 2 cars there that are, if they're both in the A main here tonight, it's going to get very confusing with the 53 of Jade Williams currently in, the 52 of Brian Lambert currently out. Those 2 cars are identical, so besides the difference in number, that's going to get at least pretty hard for me up here in the booth. So hopefully it'd be nice if it makes it.
Looking at it, the 52 of Lambert has blue rims, where the 53 of Williams has red rims from up here in the towers. So that may be our only shot of telling these 2 cars apart.
Yeah. For me, looking at the blimp, that's not gonna help much. So it is very interesting. I've never seen it in a race where 2 guys have the exact same scheme. Kind of cool. So. All right, lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going green this time. We'll try it again here. We'll be going green on lap 6 of 50, so 45 laps still to go. Matt Hackathorn still is your leader. Chance Overholt in 2nd. Josh Robinson in 3rd. Gary LaViolet in 4th. And Bill Ross Jr. rounds out the top 5 at the moment.
So field back in the hands of Matt Hackathorn. Into number 44, winner at New Hampshire earlier this season. He's got one of the Martinsville winners, Chance Overholt, behind him. Getting set to go green, and Hackathorn looking for another good start on this one. Green flag is out. We're back underway.
And no surprise, a great restart by Hackathorn. Looks like the field is fairly calm as we enter turn number 1. Now everybody spreads out.
Couple cars still sporting their throwback schemes from last week's race at Myrtle Beach. Josh Robinson and Gary LaViolette both sporting their throwback schemes. New look for Matt Hackathorn, the 44 we mentioned. So a couple different varieties as we take a look. That's what we were talking about there with Williams and Lambert. Identical cars, just with the rims, the only difference really.
That was your first side-by-side battle on that restart. Lambert got the best of Williams, so that moves him into advancing position in 6th. Now he's going to go after the 25 of Bill Ross Jr. for a top 5. He's going to get a little caught, and he's going to spin it around. Will he save it? Oh, man, barely misses that inside wall. He is off the track, so he will get no caution. He's off the racing surface. And he'll get it pointed the right way.
Tough break there. Trying to get it pointed the right direction. We stay green for the time being.
Just saw there on the replay, just barely caught the rear bumper of the 25 and almost looked like he spun it to keep it off of him. There was a little bit of contact there, though. Well, don't
so
look
early
now.
stages. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
I was going to say, don't look now, but it does look like Chance Overholt slowly starting to reel in your race leader here.
It's 0.8 tenths of a second right now, so 8 tenths right now between Hackathorn and Overholt, but Josh Robinson putting the pressure on Overholt right now for second, and if they get racy, especially at this track, that's going to allow Hackathorn to start putting some distance on them. We'll keep an eye on that battle as it stays 8 tenths of a second there, no change in the difference. So we'll keep an eye on the 62 and the 47 to see if they start getting racy or not.
Ooh. Robinson almost catching the wall there. He's going to have to enter in a little lower than I'm sure he would have wanted to. Speaking of lines here, it does look like that 86 just behind those two of Gary LaViolette running a little bit higher entry, and almost last time around at least he was in that top groove all the way until about the middle of the corner, the highest I've seen anybody go so far here tonight. So it does look like he's making it work at the moment, as those two in front of him running basically on that yellow line. He's running the middle groove, kind of the diverse lines you can run around here.
And I think the longer this race goes, the more cars you'll start seeing make their way up to the top. They ran a few practice races throughout the last couple of weeks. Jason Berg taking wins in those, but we saw a lot of variety of lines, but near the end of the race, saw more and more guys making their way up towards the higher lines of the track. So I'm expecting that as this race unfolds here tonight.
Absolutely. That just lends itself to how wide this racetrack is, that you're able to really just move around these corners. A good battle for the 5th spot at the moment. Jade Williams and Bill Ross Jr. going at it. 53 of Williams just getting by. Now James Paulson going to try and sneak his way through as well to steal that 6th spot, the advancing position away from Bill Ross Jr. He is. Garrett Huffines noted he had... Oh, no, he's back. I believe he's having some connection issues at the moment, all the way back to 13th. Noted last week that he had an issue that really didn't even let him start the race. Looks like those gremlins may be continuing here this week as starts blinking out once again.
Yeah, this is definitely not what Garrett Huffines wanted for a redemption race, as he was up in the top 5 of that race at Myrtle Beach before those connection issues happened. Looks like still having those issues right now in the 42, so tough break for Garrett Huffines as he tries to make his way back up there, but he's got a tall task ahead with connection issues and 10 seconds back of the race leader.
Got a battle going on for the 9th position at the moment. Sean Brightsman and Casey Tillman going at it. Excuse me, that's for the 8th position. Brightsman really using that outside line to his advantage. Passes him around the outside. Don't see that too often.
And Brightsman looking good right now, trying to make his way up there and get locked into the race via transfer position and trying to not have to worry about the points provisional. He's second in points coming into this one, so even if he's not able to get up into the top 6 with Jason Berg being locked in already, Brightsman would get the provisional, but Brightsman, no doubt, he wants to get up there, get around that 25 of Bill Ross Jr., and he wants to transfer in via position and not have to fall back on that.
I'm not sure how bad it is at the moment, but he does have a little right side damage on that front end. Not sure if that's hurting the car or is possibly suspension damage as well, but might make his job a little tougher here tonight as we continue to go on into the night.
Well, it looks like he is not being hindered by it right now as he is catching up to James Paulson and Bill Ross Jr. And as we get set for a 3-car battle for the final transfer spot now. Paulson and Brightsman each with a main event win this season. Paulson took home a win at Martinsville as the second duel. Brightsman picked up the win in race number 2 at Richmond.
And it really just looks like he can put his car anywhere he wants it, and it drives very well. So that's possibly a little worrying to anybody in that A main. That 46 definitely looks like he has a fast car here tonight, and showing it as he's side by side with Paulson. Not going to be able to get by the 25 at the moment, but I have a feeling it won't be too long.
And another note that you pointed out, Brightsman with a fast car, got a couple guys in the A main, might be worried about that. He's also showing he can negotiate traffic, and with him going to be starting in the back of the A main, if he can get this spot, that will be huge to be able to negotiate traffic, especially at Iowa. And with a long race, you got to expect some of these fast guys to just take their time and pick their way through. But Brightsman showing some muscle right now in the 46.
Absolutely. Now he will have a hole as he does successfully get by James Paulson. And Casey Tillman going to open that door wide open. Car he was just battling with. He's side by side with Paulson just behind, but will not be able to complete the pass right on the rear bumper, and looks like he's going to make the move into turn 1. Brightsman will.
Brightsman makes a move to the inside, but man, that run Tillman had down the backstretch into turn number 3 was incredible. I'm kind of curious if he'll be able to do it again. He gets a little bit of a run that time, but not as good. But that run to get to the inside of Paulson the time before that, great job by Casey Tillman to make the run there. So this turning into a 4-car battle for the final transfer spot.
Absolutely. Didn't think it was going to work the way Tillman got there, but Brightsman with the edge at the moment. It doesn't look like he's worrying too much about the entry to the corner as much as he is about exit. And now we see the 25 a little blink there, and I think that's what you really have to be concerned about is the exit of the corners, and I think that's what Brightsman is really excelling on right now as he moves in to the transfer position P6 at the moment.
And don't look now, back up at the front, Chance Overholt has turned the jets on. He has cut it down to 0.3 of a second over Matt Hackathorn in the 44 after riding around 0.8 of a second back for a few laps. Chance Overholt has cut into the lead. Not sure if something happened with the 44 or if Overholt just turned up the jets and just decided it was go time, but just past halfway here in this B main, and Overholt has caught up to Hackathorn.
Absolutely. Could be almost looked like Hackathorn was a little loose off. Maybe abusing those tires a little early, but either way, still in good shape. Either way, P1 or P2 will make it in, but I'm sure he'd rather win the race as Overholt slowly getting closer and closer to that rear bumper. Have to wonder how aggressive he'll get for that race lead.
Hackathorn continues to lead. Don't see any damage on the 44 car at this time, so keeping an eye on it as we close in on 20 to go in this B main, taking the top 6. Yeah, our producer Carlos Acosta just pointed it out. They're running almost identical lap times right now, are the 44 and the 62. And this is just the B main.
Makes you really look forward to that A main and what more exciting racing we can see there. But slowly getting closer to that rear bumper again. Gap under 2 seconds now at this point, and he is there. Chance Overholt is there. A big wobble out of the 44, and to the inside goes Overholt, and new race leader Matt Hackathorn just lets him have it.
Hackathorn realizing that, hey man, you got the faster car right now. I'm still in, even if you get the spot. We'll let you go up there for a little bit. Hackathorn, very smart move to let Overholt take the lead, but Chance Overholt, a win at Martinsville earlier this season, looking for a B main win tonight at Iowa.
And like you said, no real worry. 20 laps to go. He's still in position to advance, so looking pretty good for Matt Hackathorn at the moment. Josh Robinson behind about 2 seconds, so no real pressure on either of those two front runners at the moment. Does look like we have... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Hackathorn not really letting Overholt go, as he's staying with them just 0.2 of a second back. It's 2.2 seconds back to Josh Robinson in the 44, so no pressure from behind as these two are going to let it sort themselves out.
Well, Brightsman just got another position away from the 53 of Jade Williams. That moves him up into the top 5. So that 46 making a little bit more ground up, getting his spot one better. His starting spot, I should say, one better for the A main. I'm definitely curious to see what that 46 can do in the A main. That car looks bad fast tonight.
Noticing Hackathorn back up to the battle up front is going in about half a groove up on Overholt, half a groove higher on entry before settling into his line about a third of the way through the corner. Identical exits that time by for the 62 and the 44, but noticed it last time by. There it is again. Hackathorn taking about half a groove higher over Overholt, but taking the identical exit.
I don't think that 44 is handling all too well. Heard it a little bit as he entered the corner. It almost seemed like he struggled to get it locked down there. Like it kind of squirreled out, but either way, holding on pretty well at the moment in that 44.
Go on board with him. Right now he's kind of, Hackathorn just going to school on Chance Overholt. Following him around this track, seeing what he's doing. Is there you see it again, just a little bit of a higher entry for Hackathorn into the corner. That time he took a little bit of a lower exit though, Justin, so Hackathorn not afraid to try new stuff here as he begins to close back in on Overholt.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing now that he's starting to experiment, seeing what he can do. He's really got no pressure from behind, so why not? Experiment, run some different lines, see if anything works better for you, especially for this A main. It's gotten a pretty long run here, so see what can work right now as we head into the A main and see if you can't apply that there. Oh, I think he kind of missed it there. It slides up the track just a little bit. It's going to hurt his exit.
That allows Overholt to get a big lead. No real battles going on anywhere else on the track as everyone's pretty much evenly spaced out as far as transfer position goes. The only real battle right now is this one up front between Overholt and Hackathorn, and Overholt putting some distance back between himself and Hackathorn. It's up to 0.5 of a second now.
Just kind of looking at Hackathorn in the car still. Just interesting to see how that car is running at the moment. Last time by a pretty big wiggle as he got back to the front straightaway. I think that car's starting to settle down a little bit now. Battle there looks like for the 9th position with Bill Ross Jr. and Brian Payne.
Position 9 and 10 on the line. Top 6 as they stand right now. Overholt, Hackathorn, Robinson, LaViolet, Brightsman, and Jade Williams with inside of 10 laps to go.
Kind of interesting to see how spread out everybody's gotten throughout this long run. Spread out a little bit more than I would have thought, but kind of gives us a little insight to what we'll see here in a few minutes with the A main on how these long runs could set up. Just everybody trying to log laps and get their cars, feel them out and see how they're handling.
And I think that's exactly what Josh Robinson in the 47 car is doing. As he's a second ahead of Gary LaViolette and 3 seconds back of the battle for the lead. I think he has just decided to turn this into a practice session now. Pretty much solidly locked in unless something crazy were to happen, riding in the 3rd position. So I think Robinson not really pushing the envelope too much and just getting a little bit of extra seat time going into the same main in the 47 car.
Never hurts to have that experience on hand. So 7 to go, coming around to take 6. Race slowly winding down. Overholt slowly getting that lead bigger and bigger. Just about 7/10 of a second over the 44 of Matt Hackthorne. No real pressure on any of those two at the front at the moment.
Pressure beginning to be applied, though, by Sean Breitzman on the 86 of LaViolette. We were watching it there. Behind this 47 car of Robinson, Breitzman was closing in on LaViolette.
Now, the one thing that I like out of that 46 car at the moment, it doesn't seem like he's rushing into any scenario, Rick. It just kind of looks like he's patiently working his way through the field. And we saw how patient he was with the battle between Paulson and Bill Ross Jr. Didn't really try and aggressively force his way, in the middle of that battle. Just kind of waited until he was able to get clear the 80 and then went on the attack to the 25. And, a 150-lap race, I think that's going to pay dividends for him.
And he just moved up to 4th. He started 12th in this B main, so Sean Breitzman, he's making a statement going into the same main as LaViolette gets a run on the outside, but he lost his momentum there through the apex. But Breitzman making a statement to these guys in the A main saying, hey, I'm going to be a threat in this one no matter what.
Absolutely. Like we said, if you're in that A main, definitely a car you're going to have to watch here tonight, that 46.
Up to 4th is Breitzman, but we're in closing stages of this one with Chance Overholt, a 6/10 of a second lead over Matt Hackthorne.
Yeah, 2 to go, and nothing's really changed up front, and Hackthorne almost looked like he was taking a little bit of a different line. I would be kind of surprised if, in these late laps, once he lost the lead, if he didn't start kind of experimenting with the lines and seeing what he could do as a 62. We'll take the white flag here at Iowa. 1 more lap to go here in the B main here.
So Overholt, Chance Overholt, using the bottom line for a majority of that race as he comes through 3 and 4, and the checker flag is in the hands of our flagman, and Chance Overholt, a winner at Martinsville, has a B main win in Iowa. Chance Overholt wins it.
Matt Hackthorne bringing home 2nd, Robinson in 3rd, Sean Breitzman in 4th, Gary LaViolette will round out your top 5 here tonight, and Jade Williams will be in the advancing position in 6th. We'll have to wait and see who gets the provisionals here tonight to make up our 24-car field for the A main.
So 1 race in the books already, the B main down, and Justin, this A main event that we're going to see, the Rustic Moon 151, 3 times the length of that with a fuel stop. So good long run though in that one. Just the 1 accident at the start. Other than that, caution free from then on.
Yeah, and I think we saw the one thing that we haven't really seen in any race all season, and that's when these guys got spread out and kind of just almost looked like they were logging laps, just single file all the way through. You don't see that too often here in any of these races. Normally, every lap there's someone racing for position. Here tonight, that was a little bit different. All right, Greg, let's see if we can't ring up our winner here for the B main here, Chance Overholt.
Chance Overholt, Greg Renson, the tower, got a copy.
I got you.
Hey, Chance, you had a good run there. Got up to the lead at lap 30, led the last 20 laps. Didn't really look like he had to push it at all. Getting some good seat time going into the A main. You like your chances going into that as you just won the B main?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, I feel pretty good about Iowa. I'm just glad to be in the show after Myrtle. You know, I felt like I had a really good car in Myrtle and didn't get to show it in the A main. Practiced a little bit this week here at Iowa and feel like I got a pretty good car. I just didn't get enough practice for qualifying and put myself in that situation. But we'll have some fun in the A main here. Try and keep the tires under us.
All right, we'll let you go get set for the A main. Get yourself a drink of water and whatever you need to get ready. Good luck, sir.
All right, thanks, fellas.
All right, we have second place here as well, Matt Hackathorn.
Matt Hackathorn, Greg Rents in the tower. Got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you had a good run going, led the most laps, and just kind of settled in the second. But good effort for you out there, leading some laps, getting some good seat time, and here you are getting set to transfer into this A main with a second place finish.
Yeah, actually excited to actually make it in this week. It's been a rough couple of times. I still haven't figured out how to qualify, so here I am. But there was no point in me even racing chance. I was just out trying to get notes after a little bit, and then just kind of figure out what to do in the race. And luckily I have some experience in the pack, so coming from the back in the main event hopefully won't be too awful. But I'm excited. I love this track. I think I'll be there at the end. I'm not sure. I was just playing around with tires and trying to figure out strategies and whatnot. So.
All right, well, we'll let you go get ready for the A main. Good luck. 151 laps, long way, and we'll maybe see you after.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
And Justin, you've caught up at third place, Josh Robinson.
Yes, sir. Josh, you got a copy? Man, no one ever wants to talk to me. Josh Robinson, 3Y TV, you got a copy? Man, alright, I guess he's probably getting ready for the A-main as he advanced in that third place. And man, Greg, why does no one ever want to talk to me?
Not sure, man, not sure.
Alright, well, results are in. Chance Overholt, your winner here for the B-main at Iowa. Matt Hackathorn comes home in second. Josh Robinson third, Sean Breitzman fourth, Gary LaViolet fifth, and Jade Williams, your top six advancing to the A main here tonight.
Casey Tillman, first car out. We'll have to wait and see on the points to see where him, James Paulson, Daryl Tidrick, and Bill Ross Jr. fall in. They round out the top 10 in the B main.
Rounding out your field here tonight, Brian Payne going to come home in 11th, Brian Lambert in 12th. Trace Thompson going to come home 13th, Adam Holm 14th, and Garrett Huffines, unfortunately, another week with internet troubles, will come home in 15th. All right.
So another B main in the books as our A main field gets set to take the big stage, Justin.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see if this race kind of plays out like, or the A main plays out like this one we saw here tonight, where once that first wreck was out of the way, everyone kind of just started logging laps and seeing what their cars would do. Didn't see too much racing here, as we normally do each week, but either way, it should be a good one here for this A main.
So we will see what happens with this A main. And Justin, practice races earlier this week and last week, we saw almost an exact replica of the Myrtle Beach race between Jason Berg and Kyle Lahr, dueling it out to the end. And once again, it was Jason Berg coming out on top. But man, Kyle Lahr, he was showing some serious speed here at Iowa in these practice races earlier this week.
Well, that's good to see, because we know in that one at Myrtle Beach, it was one mistake that cost him. Hopefully he can rebound here tonight. We know how good he was there. This track a little bit different, but looks like he has the same speed as he did 2 weeks ago. So I'm really looking forward to that. Definitely fun to see that kid work his way through the field and be competitive. So really looking forward to what he can see, or what he can do here tonight as well at Iowa.
So getting set for the A main here, the Rustic Moon 150. coming your way from Iowa here this evening. And Justin, we saw a lot of these bigger tracks earlier in the year, kind of been to a few short tracks since then, but this really the last quote-unquote big track of the season for the iRacing.com Northwest Tour.
Yes, sir, and it's almost looks like the biggest track we've gone to. I can't get over how big this track looks, but it's really only a 7/8 mile, so it's just how I believe the widest track we're going to go to all season, and definitely provides the most racing room we're going to have all season, whether that leads to more racing or some more chances for guys to kind of just overdo it a little bit off corner exit. We're going to see here tonight for 150 laps coming up here in a few minutes. So their A main room is up. We're going to step away for just a quick second and get that all set up. When we come back, it'll be racing from Iowa, the Rustic Moon 151 here, the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products here on 3YTV.
Hi, I'm Brad Morrison with MountainView Polaris. Tired of being cooped up all winter long? Tired of your old lady complaining about this and that? Let's give her something to complain about. Come on down and see us here at MountainView Polaris. We got a great selection on side-by-sides, ATVs, and even a few snowmobiles. We also have products for the kids. We've also been known to do a deal over a good old bottle of tequila, or hell, even a simple coin flip. It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, so come see us, Mountain View Polaris.
Do you have an old crap can like this taking up space in your driveway? Are you still holding on to your old high school whip? Did your aunt run off to Alaska with her boyfriend and leave her shitbox Cadillac sitting next to your house? If so, call Woffords Towing. They haul off junk cars just like these, and they even pay you cash for those old clunkers. So let's recap. We take your pile of crap, we put it in our state-of-the-art pancake maker, and we squeeze out all the cash. Woffords Towing and Auto Wrecking, 201 South Frontage Road, Wapato, 509-877-4944.
Tidricks Quality Transmissions. Come see us today. Thank you.
myself. I got a little older and put the bottle back on the shelf. I got a little older, I put away those childish things. I got a little older, well, I got a little older.
And we welcome you back to the Iowa Speedway here tonight. The iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. The Rustic Moon 151 here, 150 laps around this 7/8 mile. Once again, I'm Justin Kolb alongside Greg Renz here, and Greg just got done with a pretty good B main, ready for 150 laps of about the same thing, but with a lot more cars this time.
And that B main, really, I was really surprised that that B main was able to go the distance it did with no yellow. And there was the wreck on the initial start of that B main, but other than that, it really was a very, very clean race. So hopefully we see more of that in this A main here tonight. 151 laps here tonight at Iowa. That's going to be a long race. We're going to see some strategies unfold here.
Yes, sir. And alongside that, we know that we will have at least one caution here tonight at the halfway point, so around lap 75. And it will be the one and only time you are allowed to take tires here tonight. And caution really more for fuel, as you won't be able to make it the whole way with the fuel you have. So your one and only chance to take tires. So in a way, kind of a reset, not in terms of damage, but at least if you kind of abuse the tires earlier in the race, you will have a chance to take fresh ones and kind of, in a way, go again like it's the start of the race.
Kind of similar to what we saw at the Snowball Derby and at Watkins Glen, both with hits in that one. And we saw Jason Berg at Watkins Glen really play that strategy to a T by making it a two-stop strategy, but that is out the window in this one because it's only one shot here as we take a look at Matt Hackathorn, who finished second in the B main after leading the most laps, kind of winding it down. But strategy definitely going to come into play. I'm kind of curious if guys are going to be going all out at the start or if they're going to try to save it and just kind of let everybody else do their thing.
Well, the one thing that some of these guys are going to have an advantage with here tonight, the guys that were in the B main, is kind of how, I guess in a way, the race will flow. We know, on starts, these guys did have a few practice races earlier this week, but this was kind of the first race to get it all going. So they will have that advantage going for them, and they were able to feel out the cars as well in terms of what it's going to be able to do here tonight. All right, well, we have time. We mentioned Jason Berg. Why don't we go over to where everybody's standing in the points? As Greg mentioned earlier, don't have a lot of time left before we crown a champion. It is Jason Berg at the moment on top of the board with 665 points. Starting to run away with it at the moment. Sean Breitzman, couldn't say enough about him in the B main. He definitely has a fast car here tonight. He is 93 points behind Jason Berg. Then you have James Paulson, 138 behind. Seth Fraser in fourth, 162 behind, and Bart Hector Jr. rounds out the top five with 185 points behind the leader Jason Berg. And it's Matt Hackthorne, 186 behind, Travis McKinney, 191, BJ Tidrick, 199, Mathew Kingsbury, 200, and Garrett Huffines, 201 points behind Jason Berg. And Greg, like you said, not too much time left. Jason Berg kind of looking like he all but has this wrapped up at the moment.
Looks that way, but we've seen crazier things have happened in racing for sure. So definitely not out of it just yet, but boy, a couple more runs like that, or like Jason Berg has had throughout this season, and it's going to be a long way for Breitzman and company to try to close back in.
And after tonight, we still have 5 races to go. Here tonight it's at Iowa, then we have Stafford, then we go to Phoenix, Lucas Oil Raceway, South Boston, and then finish the season out at New Smyrna. So, like you said, we've seen crazier things. Jason Berg could have horrible races all the way up to New Smyrna and reel everybody back in. It's never over until it's over, I think the saying goes.
So we've reached the second half of the season here in the iRacing.com Northwest Tour, and Berg's had the dominant car, but the guy you're looking at, Sean Brightsman, the 46, he has a win at Richmond earlier this year and a great run in that B main, showing he's going to be tough to beat. But boy, he's getting all kinds of bobbling up there at the top of the line. But there's a lot of guys, including this guy we're looking at right now, Dylan Huffines, back in the lineup today after missing the Myrtle Beach race. He's a guy looking for his first win of the year, and he is making some noise for sure as he runs in the Tour. He had a great run going in the season opener, but has really had some bad luck since then. I'm looking for Dylan Huffines to try to break that streak and try to get a good run tonight.
Yes, sir. And speaking of the Huffines, that 42 car that we mentioned earlier will be in the race based on points provisional. It is obviously yet to see should the internet hold up. We know he's been having issues with that, but car did look fast, so see if he can't do anything with it here tonight should the internet hold up. But both Huffines in the field here tonight, and Greg, we've seen how that can go sometimes. Sometimes they can get a little brotherly love to each other.
Yeah, who can forget Garrett making Dylan walk to school after the outcome of the USA International race, the season opener, after the events that transpired there. So definitely brotherly love in this Tour for sure, as we're getting close to main event start time here, Justin. And who's some guys you're going to be looking at?
Well, one guy that is familiar, at least to me, and kind of a familiar face here on Free Wide TV right now in the top 5, got Paul Ross in the 85. Good to see him in the field here tonight. Good to see that he qualified his way in and did not have to go through the B main. So cool to see that. Cool to see him running well at the moment. Really excited to see how he's going to be able to run here tonight.
Up there in the top 5, and just outside the top 5, B main winner Chance Overholt sitting 6th right now in practice. So that B main, Chance Overholt getting 50 extra laps on these guys. That may pay huge dividends later on in this one.
Absolutely. And you're mentioning guys that you want to keep an eye on. I think you actually absolutely have to go to those two guys at the top of the board right now, Jason Berg and Kyle Larr. I'm sure at some point I'm going to mess it up again and call him Charles, but it is Kyle Larr in the car here tonight. Really fun to see what he did there at Myrtle Beach. Really excited to see what he can do here tonight as well. Hopefully get that first win of the season. He came so close, just one mistake took him out of it. He's got another chance here tonight.
And Kyle Larr, he showed a lot of speed in the practice races earlier this year. He had a side-by-side battle with Jason Berg in the first one that lasted about 25 laps. So I'm looking forward to that battle possibly breaking out once again between Larr and Berg.
Absolutely. It's going to be really fun to watch, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's the new guy versus the guy who basically dominated this series so far. Well, not too long to go at the moment. We're about 3 minutes away from when we're going to be gridding up here tonight for 151 laps around the 7/8 mile racetrack. Lights are on. Sun's not all the way down yet, but we will be racing into the nighttime, so it will be cool to see that as we go from dusk into the night. So you can see the sun's not quite down, but that will change once the checkered flag drops here tonight. Yeah, we saw it a little bit earlier. Why don't we talk about the gas prices here in Newton, Iowa at the moment? There you go.
Yeah, it's a little bit brutal on the wallet there.
Yeah.
We got the Loves right across the street from the racetrack here, and definitely the teams probably going through or for a different source of their fuel for their halfway break. Other than that, hoping for a little bit of a cheaper alternative, as a little bit of a damage done on the wallet scenario.
I sure hope they're getting cheaper gas prices than that. That's California levels of gas prices. So, as you said, hurts the wallet. All right. So about a minute left. Once this practice wraps up, and then we'll be setting the field here once again for 151 laps. 24 cars in the field here tonight. 16 qualified their way in, and then 6 raced their way in. 2 got in on provisionals. We'll take you through it all once the checkered flag drops here in practice. Looking at a few of the battles here at the moment. Some of these guys just trying to get that last bit of practice in.
Last couple minutes of practice winding down. Justin, who's a guy you're going to be watching for to maybe surprise some people here tonight?
I think I have to look at that 85 at the moment of Paul Ross. Like we said, making his first start of the season, currently top 5, and was top 5, just got bounced by the 24 Chris Walters. But I'm thinking that driver has a great shot at surprising a lot of people as checkered flag flies here in practice. Getting ready for the race, and once we get a few people gridded up, we'll take you through the starting grid here tonight for the Rustic Moon 151.
As the field grids up, 151 laps. Rusty Webb gonna roll off on the pole tonight in number 88 to his outside. Daniel Masters in the pink number 3.
Then you're gonna have Ted Shan starting just outside the front row in 3rd. Chris Walters is gonna start 4th.
BJ Tidrick in the 72 rolling off 3rd, making his return to the series after missing a few races. Josh Childress, the 77.
Travis McKinney going to be starting 7th. Paul Ross, the newcomer, his first start, as we mentioned, going to be starting 8th.
Brad Morrison, the 26, rolling off in 9th, rounding out the top 10. Christopher Heim, the 51, looking for a good run.
Dylan Huffines going to start 11th here tonight, just outside the top 10. Bart Hector Jr. will start 12th.
Scott Mann rolling off in 13th. Good qualifying effort for the number 90 with Seth Fraser, the 02, a guy who's really been knocking on the door for that first win of the season here in the last few weeks. Look for him to make noise.
And we're at the heavy hitters. Kyle Lara and Jason Berg starting 15th and 16th respectively, starting 15th and 16th.
Into the B main, Chance Overholt. The winner, Matt Hackathorn, finished 2nd.
Josh Robinson starting 19th here tonight, and Sean Brightsman will start next to him in 20th.
Gary LaViolette and Jade Williams, the final 2 cars to transfer in via positions in the B main, 21st and 22nd.
And James Paulson and Garrett Huffines, the 2 getting in on provisionals, will be starting 23rd and 24th. All right, 1 pace lap done, going green this time. Greg, what do you think we'll see here for this A main 151 laps?
I'm definitely expecting a lot of different lanes through the first couple laps. And how about this? I'm all the way in the very back, and the 2 fastest cars, Kyle Lara and Jason Berg, are in the back. They have elected to start at the tail end of the field.
Well, they're going to have a lot of patience here tonight, starting all the way back there, but do have a long way to go. We do know that we will have a break at the halfway point, lap 75, and these guys will be able to get new tires. All right, pace car about to pull down. There it goes. Rusty Webb will lead them to the green, as well as Daniel Masters starting 2nd. Green flag is out, and we are racing here from Newton, Iowa.
Masters got the jump early in the number 3 Toyota, bringing Chris Walters to his outside.
Oh!
Back comes Webb, been a contact, and we got problems early.
The 72 of BJ Tidrick around and right in front of the field, and the caution will come out here, the first one of the night on lap 1. I believe that all started when the 77 of Josh Childress got almost sent around. Let's take a look at the replay.
Man, just like the B main problems on the initial start, that was 2 separate accidents. Looked like.
Hey, you had the
Looks
77
like
up there.
Yeah, looks like everyone got through that relatively trouble-free. We take another look at it on board with BJ Tidrick, the 72. That was definitely 2 separate incidents there. See Tidrick the bobble, not sure if he had help from behind or not.
Wow.
He did get help, I heard, from the 48 of McKinney.
All things considered, though, he had a well of a ride there, but I think he got the least amount of damage he could out of it. You can see the bump from the 48.
Big shot from the 48. Oh, and he got him again. Tidrick looked like he might have been able to save it, but one last hit kind of sent him around. So that's what happened with the 72. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened with the 77 of Hildress.
Here's the 86 of Gary LaViolette. I don't know if we can take another look at that 72, but man, that got so close to the 90 Scott Mann when he came back around that racetrack. I don't know if there was contact, but let's see what happened with the 77 here. I think possibly the same story.
Yeah, he got tapped. He got tapped from the behind by the 85, and he got the wall. So I'm curious to see what happens with the 77 car handling wise now.
Yeah. Paul, maybe just
So
not.
2 identical incidents right next to each other at the same time. Justin, how often do you see that on the initial start?
Well, not too often, especially here in the A-Mains for the iRacing Northwest Tour, so very surprising to see that, but kind of the same as the B-Main, a caution on lap 1, but we do know that, Greg, that last time, or a little bit while ago, we had that one caution, and then we were green up until the end of the race, so maybe we'll see the same thing.
I think the single file restart definitely did play a role in that, being able to get going and get some laps built. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like Travis McKinney has been given an EOL penalty and sent to the back. No update yet on the 85-77 situation.
BJ Tidrick kind of sitting on the apron there, was possibly waiting for pace car to go by. He is, at the moment, on the tail end of the lead lap. I do not believe he went a lap down yet, but he has scored 24th, about a minute behind, so not a lap down yet.
So as they get the lineup sorted out, just 5 laps in, and all of them under yellow. Daniel Masters leading the way. Rusty Webb second. Chris Walters, Ted Shan, Dylan Huffines round out the top 5.
Big heavy hitters we were talking about didn't get too much ground made up from that caution, so they're still kind of marred in the back at the moment, but again, they will have a lot of time to make that up and get their way up towards the front.
And I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the 22 of Kyle Lahr. I'm very curious to see how he bounces back after the heartbreaking finish to the Myrtle Beach race 2 weeks ago. The 22 of Kyle Lahr is the guy I'm keeping my eye on to see how he can bounce back.
Their lights are off on the pace car at the moment, and kind of surprising, Greg, what we didn't talk about was the 3 of Daniel Masters getting the edge on Rusty Webb, the leader, on the initial start. You don't see that too often.
It looks like we're going double file restart, so Webb going to have a chance at some redemption, but the positions are swapped as Masters is going to be on the inside this time with Webb on the outside.
Well, we'll see if we can't, or he can't catch him sleeping. So once again, it's Daniel Masters the lead at the moment. Rusty Webb in second, Chris Walters third, Ted Shan fourth, Dylan Huffines rounds out your top 5. Heading through 3 and 4 at the moment. Pace car about to pull in. There it goes. We'll try again here. Our first restart of the night at Iowa. Green flag is out once again. Racing here on lap 7.
Masters again got the start on Webb, but Webb able to stick with him a little bit better this time as they make their way through 1 and 2. Webb with a big run through 1 and 2 to get the nose in front. Masters with a bobble off 2.
I was going to say that 24 ate him up off corner number 2, and that 3 had a big wobble. He kind of just sneaks his way through. That hurts the 7 of Dylan Huffines, and now they're going to start stacking up through 3 and 4.
Look out, because there is a red car making its way through the field in a big hurry, and that is the 90 of Scott Mann. He is making some moves after starting in the 13th spot, already up to 8.
Well, that move kind of hurt Dylan Huffines in the 7th, but he's battling side by side with the 13 of Ted Shan at the moment. See if he can't get out of there successfully. Top 3 kind of just spread out at the moment. Nope, here comes the 24 of Chris Walters underneath the 88 of Rusty Webb.
Can't get the move that time, so Rusty Webb leading the way right now in the 88. Chris Walters second. Out and single file through the top 5 before Dylan Huffines and Scott Mann go side by side. Webb leads the lap. And Webb leads the lap as Ted Shan to the outside of Paul Ross. Here comes Walters again on the inside. Looks like he may be able to make it stick this time.
Both of them diving down to 3 and 4. See who comes out successfully. 24 at the moment, but that momentum going to carry the 88 to the start-finish line to lead this lap. Paul Ross moves into the 4th position, getting past Ted Shan, and the 90 of Scott Mann look like he's going to try and follow to send that 13 back to 5th.
A lot more cars taking the high line at this stage of the race than there were in the B main. A lot more cars on the outside, so some different strategies than we saw in the B main as Walters clears him, and Webb almost collected Masters there.
Yeah, really close with that wall, and that hurts him as the 3 of Daniel Masters trying to take advantage. Webb going to get really close to that wall on the back straightaway. Doesn't get into it, though. And Masters does not get by the 88.
Huffines and Shan going to work. Boy, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. We talked about it early in the B main. Guess who's making some serious headway through the field right now? The 46 of Sean Breitzman. And he's bringing Berg and Lahr with him.
And at the moment, just outside that top 10, currently in 11th. No real surprise, though. That car is fast, and like you said, the 3, what I would say, the 3 strongest cars on that high side at the moment, just working their way through the field.
You said 3 strongest cars on the high side. I would almost say 3 strongest cars in the pits here this weekend. As Berg to the inside of Breitzman, so Jason Berg making inside lane work as, wow, they got close in front of him.
Oh, are we going to go 4 wide?
Hector, Shan, and Huffines.
That got really close to 4 wide. They're going to go 3 wide through 2 there, but I thought someone was going to try and peek the nose out there and make it 4. It's wide enough, but they kind of all funnel in together as you head into the corners here.
Man, what a hornet's nest this is from Hector on back. This is insane racing, and this is just lap 15. We've still got 146 to go.
3 wide, 2 rows deep, man. How close do you want it? Look at Sean Breitzman and Jason Berg going at it, as well as Kyle Lahr. Oh, the 44 into the wall. He's going to get into Breitzman. No, he will not. Oh, and Kyle Lahr involved in that one. I'll have to see how much damage he has.
That's going to be a heartbreaker for Kyle Lahr, as Hackathorn. Not sure if Hackathorn got collected by anybody or if he did it on his own, but man, had to wonder how long that race was going to be able to stand.
I don't think that 22 has much damage. You kind of saw it there. That looks like the 44 and 53 taking the worst of that. Lahr was able to recognize what was going on, though, and hard on the brakes. You can see the 44 into the wall and just bounces up and nowhere to go. Maybe we can take an onboard of 22. We are on board with Kyle Lahr. It almost seemed like he recognizes pretty early, once he got into the wall there. Alright, so just a kiss on the nose and, I mean, a hit on the wall, that's about it. And that could have been a lot worse for that 22.
So Kyle R will definitely be the one that we're watching on the initial restart here coming up.
Well, this top five, a little shuffled up from our last restart. Chris Walters, your leader at the moment. Rusty Webb in second. Paul Ross in third. Scott Mann fourth. Daniel Masters in fifth. Going to step away for just a quick minute. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you have an old crap can like this taking up space in your driveway? Are you still holding on to your old high school whip? Did your aunt run off to Alaska with her boyfriend and leave her shitbox Cadillac sitting next to your house? If so, call Woffords Towing. They haul off junk cars just like these, and they even pay you cash for those old clunkers. So let's recap. We take your pile of crap, we put it in our state-of-the-art pancake maker, and we squeeze out all the cash. Woffords Towing and Auto Wrecking, 201 South Frontage Road, Wapato, 509-877-4944.
And welcome back to Newton, Iowa here tonight. The iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. Rustic Moon 151 here. Still under caution at lap 20 of 151. And Greg, we've had 2 cautions so far, but man, racing we've seen has been night and day from what we saw just a little bit ago. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Doesn't get much better than that.
Man, before that wreck happened, it was an absolute hornet's nest back there. Cars jockeying for position all over the place. And we are still only on lap 21 of 151. So, long way to go in this one. I'm just expecting the racing to heat up even more.
Absolutely. And again, we do know that we will have at least another caution at lap 75. Take a break for fuel. That's still a bit ways away. So, once again, at the moment, it's Chris Walters, your leader. Rusty Webb in second. Paul Ross in third. Scott Mann in fourth. And Bart Hector Jr. rounds out your top 5 at the moment.
We take a look here at the field getting set to go green in the hands of Chris Walters in the 24. Rusty Webb, the early leader, to his outside. Pace car is in, coming to green at Iowa.
And there it is. And even start there for the 2 leaders.
Walters gets the nose in front. Webb got a big run on the outside last restart. Let's see if he does it again. It's there, but Walters was far enough ahead. Doesn't really come into effect, but here comes Paul Ross to the inside.
The newcomer starting to show his face, up to second at the moment. And trying to battle for that lead over the 24, and man, almost contact with the 90 and 82 there.
Boy, Scott Mann having a great run in that 90 car from 13th starting spot to 4th in just 23 laps.
I see 3 wide in the back, just behind this battle for the lead. 51 of Christopher Heim. And Jason Berg on the bottom of that, Ted Shan in the middle.
And Kyle R right there behind it.
cycles out. No, here we go, 3 wide again. Nope, Christopher Heim drops out of it. Ted Shan to the top. No, they're going to go 3 wide again.
Overholt.
And they just keep swapping positions left and right. Almost contact with the 3 of Daniel Masters back there. Josh Childress there as well, making it 3 wide into the corner. It's going to get really tight.
And while all this is going on, Chris Walters is pulling away from the racing going on behind him. He is loving seeing this right now as Scott Mann goes to the inside of Paul Ross for the 2nd spot.
Close racing there for that 2nd position. Mann with the advantage. But here comes Paul Ross with that momentum off that high side. Make it work for the moment and just barely clears Scott Mann, but back to the inside he goes.
Dylan Huffines with a big move on the inside behind this battle to the inside of Fraser with help from Jason Berg and Kyle Lahr. So Dylan Huffines, we talked about him needing a big run here tonight, trying to make some moves early as Lahr to the inside of Berg as that battle has begun between Berg and Lahr.
One guy we talked about from that B main, Sean Breitzman, a good number of positions ahead of Berg and Lahr. Right now in the 6th position, going to work on Bart Hector Jr. to crack the top 5 already here on lap 28.
Boy, Sean Breitzman has probably been the best in traffic all day long. B main into A main, Sean Breitzman. He is going to be making noise for this one by the time the checker flag falls. Sean Breitzman will have been up there in the mix.
And even with how quickly he's made his way up, it still just looks like he's patiently working his way through the field, not really abusing that car or the tires. So, really looking forward to seeing what he can do at the end should he be up towards the front once this checkered flag falls.
He's on the inside of Hector right now. Seth Fraser behind them in the 0-2. Then it's Berg and Lahr making their way through the field, as that's the only side-by-side battle going on in this particular spot of the field, as 2nd has settled down for the time being with Scott Mann in front of Paul Ross.
Bart Hector Jr. was able to get the advantage for the moment on Breitzman. Breitzman's still trying to fight back at the moment, but it looks like Hector with the stronger car for the moment.
Boy, Hector really able to make the outside work through the center of 1 and 2, and that time Seth Fraser was able to get a run on Breitzman. So we'll see if Breitzman can fend them off. We've seen how Breitzman is getting through traffic. We have not seen how he is fending off traffic yet. So let's see this 46 car as Fraser's going to get the spot for now and bring Berg with him.
I was going to say don't look now, but now those top 3 cars all together, and it looks like Breitzman's starting to fall back a little bit. I wouldn't be too worried though, as again, a long race, still a long ways to go.
Breitzman may just be letting these guys go and get some space, or let them burn up some of their stuff as he saves it for the 2nd half. Even with the tire change, you're going to see some guys saving their stuff, so they have they have a better idea of how their car's going to handle on the long run.
These 3 really can't get away from each other at the moment. You see a good battle just behind them at the moment. Dylan Huffines and Daniel Masters going at it. That's for the 10th spot. And Travis McKinney just behind them as well, trying to sneak into this battle.
McKinney has had to work his way through the field after getting sent to the back in that initial incident, so he's done a good job to get back up there.
Back up front though, Jason Berg starting to apply the pressure to the outside of Breitzman at the moment. And just in front of him as well, Seth Fraser's trying to stick his nose to the outside of Bart Hector Jr. And 3 wide through 3 and 4 for just a moment.
Now we're going to go 3 wide with Breitzman, Berg, and Lahr, the 3 strongest cars. Nope, Breitzman's able to get up on the 0-2 of Fraser. But the 3 strongest cars that we were talking about They're running right next to each other, and they have possibility of going 3 wide here real quick.
How much do you want to push this car this early, though? We know we have a caution in at least 30 laps, but still, how early or how much do you want to push it this early with the possibility of, you slide up through these corners to the wall, one mistake, and your race can be over?
If I was Brightsman, I'd be pushing it for a little bit, but I would be backing off and just kind of settling in. I know what my car is going to do on the long run with fresh tires. I know what my car is capable of. I've been able to show it twice now. If I'm Brightsman, I'm just kind of backing off now and just letting them go up and do their thing, but it doesn't really look like Brightsman's keen on doing that himself.
Man, I mean, it seems like this whole run he's been trapped on that bottom side, so that can't be the best for his tires, especially as those guys start getting past. So interesting to see what Brightsman's gonna do, as the 0-2 is Seth Fraser gonna get the nose, gonna take a look, but we'll tuck back behind the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. and now Brightsman gonna get the advantage on the 21.
And notice who fell in behind Brightsman there. Kyle Lard, the 22, trying some different stuff now. He fell in behind Brightsman into his tire tracks that time, but this time he stays up higher, and now he falls in behind Brightsman through turn 2. So Kyle Lard beginning to experiment a little bit with the 22 car.
Just seems like Brightsman can't really do anything at the moment. He's got past Berg, and then he's fallen behind. He's gotten to the door of Seth Fraser, but then fallen behind, and now it looks like Berg might have the advantage for the moment. Again, like you said, if you're Brightsman, you may just want to back off and just fall in line, as you know you have a competition caution coming not too far. And there goes Seth Fraser underneath the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. Berg will follow.
Berg beginning to peak low on Fraser. We may go 3 wide here. Into turn number 1, or 3 wide. No, Berg backs out of it. Smart move by Jason Berg, as Brightsman gets right up on the back bumper of Jason Berg.
I didn't think that was going to work if they made it 3 wide, and like you said, Berg drops out of it, and Seth Fraser going to send it into 3. He's going to slide up the racetrack, but he will get the line that Hector was running, and that gets really close with Berg there, and Bart Hector Jr. opens the door for Berg to get underneath Seth Fraser. Man, what a send.
Seth Fraser.
Oh, now he's going to get loose and hit
Berg, and here we go.
Man, Seth Fraser ramps over the 21 of Jason Berg. Oh, man, even more contact with the B-main winner, Chance Overhaul. Kyle Lard was also involved in that one as well. Take a look at what happened.
And that's going to change everything. Let's see what happened. Fraser got loose. Net code.
I mean, either way, that was still really close.
Ooh, that was a brutal hit by Overhaul. That was the first I saw of it. I was watching the 0-2 try to settle it down, and wow.
I'm not sure if that was net code. Either way, that 0-2 was going to hit, so. Oh, and then he gets, then he gets hit again.
Well, Justin, this changes everything.
Yes, sir, it does. I don't know if we can take a look at the 22 and see how much he gets. I know he was involved in this, so maybe he wasn't.
I think Lar got through that.
Did he sneak out of another one? Man, that was, you can see the hard
hit
hit
from
from
behind.
behind.
That is a huge hit by Overhaul. Let's see if we can go on board with the 22, because I don't think he got caught up in that. I think the 22 of Lar got through this.
Oh my goodness. He sneaks through again. Well, hopefully this doesn't mean that his luck's going to run out later in the night, but man, that's twice that 22 of Kyle Lard has avoided disaster.
And I'm also curious the status quo on the 82 of Hector, as he was very much involved in that one, still out there right now, but not sure how his car is handling right now.
Well, at the moment, 2 cars off the track, Matt Hackthorne and Jade Williams. Greg, let's see if we can't talk to Kyle and see what he's thinking after nearly avoiding 2 incidents.
Yeah, Kyle Lard, Greg Rents in the tower, got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy.
How in the world did you get through that, my friend?
It was like Days of Thunder right there. Just held her open and went high.
Alright, you're doing a good job. It looks like you're using some patience, kind of just biding your time. When are you thinking you're going to make your move, or have you decided yet?
I really haven't decided yet, honestly. There's a lot of fast cars, so I might be here soon. Maybe after this next pit stop.
Alright, we'll let you get set to go back racing. Good luck, Kyle.
Thank you, sir.
That was the 22. Kyle R. Avoided 2 so far. In the 7th position at the moment. If he can't get his way up. So taking a look at the moment, Jason Berg still sitting on pit road, 1 lap down already. Looks like he's going to go another lap down, and I don't know if this curses him or not, Greg, but we did mention that, you know, if he does have, you know, a lot of bad races, could possibly start to lose that points lead. Might be, I mean, he obviously has a big enough one that he can afford tonight, but can't have too many more of these.
So we'll see what happens the rest of the way. Or not just tonight, but this is going to put a dent in the 21 of Jason Berg's point lead for sure. So we'll see. As looks like a couple of guys in the pits, like you mentioned, Matt Hackathorn, one of them. And Justin, let's see if we can catch up with Hackathorn and find out why he's out of the race early.
Matt Hackathorn, 3Y TV, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, unfortunately, looks like you're out of this one early here tonight. What happened, man?
No, well, just we're 3 wide, so I was trying to get some extra room, and I kind of scraped the wall and got loose conveniently as the 7 and the 02 got together, and we kind of had a clashing in the middle. It was just a racing deal. I was coming down there going up. If nobody hit anybody, I think we'd been fine, but, you know, just my luck. It continues to be my luck. It's been my luck for like 3 years. It's no big deal.
Well, very unfortunate, but we wish you the best of luck next week at Stafford.
I hope so. It's about time I run out of bad luck, man.
All right, well, lights are off, going through 3 and 4 at the moment. Chris Walters, your leader. It is single file racing at the moment. Scott Mann second, Paul Ross third, Rusty Webb fourth, Sean Breitzman fifth. Pace car is off. Green flag in the hand of the flagman. It is waving, and we are racing once again.
And Scott Mann sticking right with Chris Walters. And Walters had a big gap there, and then was there some contact between Mann and Walters there? Either way, this is the first real test Chris Walters has had all night long.
Sean Breitzman on the attack at the moment, just behind this battle for the lead. On the outside of the 88 of Rusty Webb, trying to take that 4th spot away. But Scott Mann still right on the bumper. He's going to go to the inside of that 24 of Chris Walters.
Almost got the nose in front, but Walters came fighting back on the outside. Paul Ross, 85 in third. He's knocking on the door as well. Here comes Mann back to the inside of Walters.
Tight racing there off the corner. Walters going to hold it for the moment. But expect Mann to dive down into the corner once again. He'll get to the quarter panel, but that's about it. He'll have to give up at the moment. As we do see just behind as well, Sean Breitzman fighting for third now to the inside of the 85 of Paul Ross.
Breitzman trying to pull up there. Paul Ross making his first career start in the Northwest Tour, doing a great job up there. Don't look now, because here comes Kyle Lara as well. He has gotten around Rusty Webb for the 5th spot. Doesn't quite have him cleared yet, but he's making his way to the front now.
Breitzman can get by this 85 quickly. I have a feeling that he'll be right up there at the lead not too long. He's got the 85 cleared at the moment, and he'll set his sights on the 90 of Scott Mann.
He clears them.
Have a fast car or what here tonight?
Yeah, Breitzman has been the man on the move tonight. Plus 8 in the B main, and now he's plus 17 in this A main. So Brightsman has passed a lot of cars tonight.
And I think the most impressive part about his run here tonight is he's going to get to the inside. No, not quite, but we saw him. He got past the 85 on the bottom and then went immediately to the top. He's able to put his car really anywhere he wants it, and he's able to make it stick and make it work. That car is fast anywhere he wants to put it, and for the rest of the field, that's pretty dangerous.
And not only is it fast anywhere he wants to put it, you mentioned it in the B main. We've been seeing it all day. He's not pushing the envelope at all on that 46 car.
Just catching them and passing them when he can. And that's really the most, I think, important part of how fast he's been here tonight. Just not pushing the issue. As, I mean, he's on the back bumper of the 90 of Scott Mann. He's not making it too aggressive, but now the 22 of Kyle Lahr will get to the inside.
And Kyle Lahr, don't forget, he started at the tail end of the field after electing to start in the back. He's knocking on the door of the podium right now. He finished second at Myrtle Beach after dominating that race. He's looking to come back strong here tonight. And he's having a good run, has dodged a couple incidents right in front of him, including an incredible job dodging that last one. Kyle Lahr, definitely an adventurous race to the front. And here he is knocking on the door of third.
Now, well, the big three still made their way to the front, with the exception of Jason Berg. He's still on pit road 12 laps down, so it looks like his night is all but over. But the Fast Two, at least, now left in this race, fighting for third at the moment, and not too far off from this race lead.
So we'll see who wins the dang war between Kyle Lahr and Sean Brightsman with the big two that we talked about, but they still got to get their way past Chris Walters and Scott Mann first before we even start talking about that.
And I mean, neither of them have really given an inch either, that 22 or the 46. They're still side by side. And now off pit road, the 21 of Jason Berg comes off 14 laps down now. And they both got by the 90 of Scott Mann, and they're still racing side by side now for second. Which one's going to give up first? And possibly get to that front runner. At the moment, the 24 caution is out. Or did Berg spin it again? Or did Berg spin it, I should say. No, I don't think so. He was the slow car, but he just probably felt the car out and where that, I'm not sure where, we're not sure where that caution was from. Oh, Seth Fraser called the caution.
So
is this?
Oh, we're going pit stops now.
Oh, so this is the, all right. Well, this is the point where everybody can take fuel and tires. We were thinking that it was around lap 75 mark. We were about 15 laps off, so makes a little bit more sense.
All right, so
Look at that light.
yeah, we definitely want to thank our friends at SimTV for the extra camera angles tonight, for sure, Justin.
Yes, sir. A lot of great angles, and as these guys fuel up, one of our camera angles here tonight will give you a look at how much these guys are paying per gallon, per gallon here. Seth Fraser has decided to stay out. A bold move. Or maybe he missed his pit stall. Oh, he will come down pit road now.
So a bold strategy pays off there, Cotton, as Seth Fraser able to lead a lap before pitting.
Well, Sean Brightsman will take over the lead now, and Kyle Lahr to second. So the Fast Two up at the front now, this could mean lights out for the rest of this field. We'll have to see on the restart. But they do get past Chris Walters, who was the race leader before all this. Then Paul Ross back there 4th, Scott Mann in 5th.
So maybe some miscommunication in the pits on the 24 of Walters as he loses 2 spots to Breitzman and Lar.
Well, either way, now, these are the tires and the fuel you're going to have to the end of the race. So, can't really be abusing them now. Hoping that all the work you've done to this point has gotten you in a preferable position. If not, you're going to have a long night ahead of you.
So Sean Breitzman rolled off 12th in the B main, got up to 4th, rolled off 20th in the A main, and here he is leading the way. He has passed a lot of cars tonight, Justin.
Yes, sir. And now he's going to be out in clean air, no pressure from up front. And again, I think that car is dangerous to the rest of this field. He can put it wherever he wants. That car is fast. We'll see if Kyle Lark can keep up. But I think it's going to be lights out for the rest of this field now that he's up front. Alright, we'll see if the lights go out on the pace car this time. If not, we'll be going racing in 2 laps. If not, it'll be 1. And they are off, so we will be going racing on lap 65.
Of 151, the Rustic Moon 151 at Iowa Speedway. The iRacing.com Northwest Tour brought to you by Joe's Racing Products. And looks like we're going single file on this one, Justin.
Yes, sir. I mean, that we saw double file work, and looks like single file they still get as racy as ever. So nothing's going to really hold these guys back here tonight. So, but I think that is good for Breitzman, at least in his. If you're in his camp, no room to really fight for on this restart. So he will lead them down. Kyle Art in 2nd, Chris Walters 3rd, Paul Ross 4th, and Scott Mann rounds out your top 5. Pace car will pull down. There it goes, and Breitzman will lead him to the green here on lap 65. It is out, and he is away.
And a big jump for Sean Breitzman on that restart. So Kyle Lar has his work cut out for him to try to reel him back in, and now we may see just how strong that 46 car is in clean air.
And the one thing that Breitzman doesn't want to do, and I'm sure he is aware of, is burn the tires off too early. You're out front, no real need to push it.
Lar able to reel him back in a little bit there off turn number 4. We'll see what happens. Lar's still doing that, or that line through 1 and 2 where he enters in the middle groove and then exits on the low groove. So we'll see what happens as the Hornet's Nest breaks out once again back here between Heim, Paulson, Robinson, and others.
Robinson finished 3rd in the B main. Currently 16th at the moment. Like as soon as we got there, we were still out, but I'm still stuck on that bottom lane. So we're by on the high side.
No real battle up front between Breitzman and Lar. Margin holding steady at 0.3 of a second. So Lar maybe kind of just riding around, going to school on Breitzman to see what he's got in that 46 car. We'll definitely keep an eye on this battle as it works itself out throughout the rest of the race, but no real battle going on right now up front.
Robinson will get underneath the 80 at the moment. Oh, that all kind of cycles out there when he gets back to single file racing. So Jason Berg coming out of pit road once again. See if he'll keep it on the track. He'll bring it down once again. I think he's at this point just trying to field that car out, as he's already 17 laps down, doesn't want to put anybody else in the field in danger.
Tough break for the points leader, Jason Berg. You can just see the difference in speed in that 21 car right now as he goes now down the backstretch, you can just see how much slower he is with all that damage. And boy, looked like we were getting set for a three-way battle between Brightsman, Lahr, and Berg, and in the blink of an eye, it all changed.
Yes, sir. And I mean, really all of them kept it smart, as Scott Mann going to go underneath Paul Ross there. Ross going to get a little loose. He'll keep it under control, but he will lose the spot. Well, everybody single file at the moment, at least up towards the front. Ross trying to keep himself under control after that small little wiggle off turn 2 last time by. Looks like Travis McKinney just behind Rusty Webb, trying to see if he can't sneak his way past.
We take a look at Christopher Heim really beginning to make that outside lane work in the 51, getting up almost into the wall, following Bart Hector Jr. in the 82. Looks like Christopher Heim really the only one going extreme high, and he didn't do it that time through. As now we take a look at James Paulson, the 80, the Martinsville Dual 2 winner. As guys just trying to get some laps under their belt, as we are just a couple laps out from halfway.
Robinson catches the wall back there. That checks up Bart Hector Jr. Looks like it was a little scrape.
Kyle Lahr beginning to close the gap a little bit on Brightsman up front, taking a low line through 3 and 4. Beginning to put some pressure on the 46 is the 22 as we're halfway.
Rusty Webb and Travis McKinney going at it. McKinney was able to get that spot. Moves him up into the 6th spot. Now that gap's starting to close, like you said, Greg. Starting to close up on Brightsman, and it's pretty clear now. He's almost on that rear bumper. But I have to wonder if Brightsman just kind of holding back at the moment, really knowing he needs to, and doesn't need to push it at the moment.
Brightsman has shown all night long that he's clearly one of the strongest cars here. But Kyle Lahr, he is hungry for a win, especially after what happened last weekend at Myrtle Beach. So these are two guys, very, very different mindsets here at this stage of the game. And they're going to put on an incredible show here, as now Kyle Lahr has gotten up there to Sean Brightsman.
Officially past halfway, taking lap 78 of 151. A good battle for the lead at the moment. Kind of a difference of lines there, but I think for Sean Brightsman, it doesn't really matter where he puts that car. I think it's fast, but Kyle Lahr trying to upstage him for the moment, at least trying to take that lead away.
Here's a run on the inside by Kyle Lahr in the 22. Oh, we can't quite get him there, but he's almost to the bumper of Brightsman. Let's see how it unfolds here for the next couple laps, because Kyle Lahr is there and applying pressure.
I almost don't feel like that bottom lane is going to be where Lahr wants to be, but for the moment, it's working. That's just kind of going to eat up the tires a little bit more. Get car going on the pit road. I thought that was
Chance Overholt making his way back to pit road after he got caught up in that wreck with Berg. A very hard hit. Brightsman had a better exit off turn 2 that time. He was able to stretch a little bit more distance over Kyle Lahr.
It almost looks like Brightsman starting to move up the track just a tad, at least through 3 and 4 that time. And now we see Kyle Lahr, almost like he was listening to me, moving up the track a little bit more too, trying to experiment.
Brightsman was able to open it up a 10th time by, but now Lahr saw it off turn 2. He was able to cut it back down a little bit. Going back to that bottom lane, let's see what Lahr's got this time. At the line, distance, still 0.2 of a second.
And now Kyle Lahr running a drastically different line. I think the way that he should be attacking it, where he starts high and then kind of brings it down a little bit lower. Still getting a good exit off. Starting to reel in the 46 once again.
That time, through 3 and 4. Breitzman was a half group higher than Lahr, and he was actually able to open it up to 0.3 of a second now. So Breitzman was able to open up another 10th over Kyle Lahr.
Just behind as well. Almost a battle for third. Scott Mann going to get to the bumper and to the inside of the 24 of Chris Walters. Battle for third. And Mann, not quite clear. Going to be side by side heading into 3 and 4. I think Scott Mann should have the advantage this time. He does, and clears the 24 for third. Well, it looks like the internet woes for Garrett Huffines has continued on to Dylan now. Both those guys are off the track and appears to be out of the race at the moment.
So as that goes on, Scott Mann in the 90 finally able to get around the 24 Chris Walters as he was putting the pressure on for the lead earlier in this one. Now Walters comes fighting back on Scott Mann. Battle is for third at the moment. Travis McKinney up to the top 5 as well, the 48 car, and he remembered Justin was sent to the back after that initial incident.
Yes, he was, and Walter is gonna not quite get to the bumper and almost caught the wall there. That is about the best battle on track at the moment. Man, look at this hornet's nest back there. 51 of Christopher Heim. Trying to get past 47 of Josh Robinson. And James Paulson, the leader of this big group right here.
I haven't been able to figure out Heim's line yet, as he went way high in 1 and 2 and way low in 3 and 4. And this time he rides to the bottom, so Christopher Heim not really with a set line. He's just trying to do whatever works in that 51 car.
Daniel Masters going to dive underneath the 80 of James Paulson. That's going to get really close on exit. Man, how do they not make contact there? I don't know. But that actually hurts Masters there. The 86 of Gary LaViolette going to get to the outside now.
Behind that, there you see it again. Christopher Heim way up on the wall. Let's see what he does through 3 and 4.
Running the Larson line up there.
There it is again through 3 and 4.
Masters going to get by the 47. No, not quite. He blinks out just for a second. And now the 47 and 3 are side by side.
That battle continues. The battle for the lead, though, is beginning to heat up once again. Kyle Lahr is caught back up to the bumper of Breitzman. So Kyle Lahr cooled his tires off and now beginning to put the pressure on again.
And really, 22 back to hit the line he was running before, so obviously what he was running before is working for him. Seeing if he can't get back up to the front now, or at least up to the front. Oh, the 46!
Breitzman with the bobble. Breitzman bobble, that could be the opening Lahr needs as he's to the door.
I think
off turn number
2.
2.
Have the run off the corner. No, they're still side by side.
Door to door in the 3 and 4.
Lahr with the advantage at the moment. Breitzman should have the run off. Almost dead even at the line. Lahr led that one.
Lahr led the lap. That's the first lap led for Kyle Lahr. Working lap 93 of 151, closing in on 2/3. And Breitzman and Lahr side by side.
Neither of them giving him an inch. 22 on that yellow line kind of caught it. I think that's going to hurt him just a tad, as Breitzman will get the advantage for the moment.
Boy, Breitzman got lucky because Breitzman had another bobble, but Lahr had a bigger bobble. So Breitzman with a little bit of racer's luck right there.
Breitzman should have the advantage off the corner. Lahr still kind of hanging, but will clear the 22 now. Lahr going to dive it down into 1 once again. Side by side through 1 and 2. 46 should have the run side by side down the backstretch.
Through 3 and 4, Lar putting the pressure on, but Brightsman able to hold steady through 3 and 4 that time. Brightsman clears Lar, and Lar settles it down to cool his tires off again for another charge.
I'd like to say once that 22 of Kyle Lara gets to the lead, should he get to the lead, he should take that line away from the 46, but I don't really think it's going to be an option with how strong this 46 has shown, can go anywhere. I'm not sure what you do to get by this 46 at the moment.
Well, don't look now, but you can see it up ahead. Lap traffic is beginning to creep up. That could very much play a factor in this one.
Yeah, that's how you get by the 46. He could possibly, should this lap traffic get in the way, kind of force the 46 to move or get stuck behind the lap traffic. I have to see how well they can get through. We've seen how good this 46 is in traffic, so hoping he can continue that.
To the outside goes Kyle Lar, now peaking high after trying the inside, and he got the run off turn 2. Kyle Lar trying to squeeze up there on the outside.
Brightsman tried shutting the door, couldn't quite do it. To the outside goes Kyle Lar, a bobble by the 46. Move Lar to the lead. What a move.
I do not think there was contact, but they just took the air off the back of the 46 just enough to get the spot. Great move by Kyle Lar. He leads with 53 to go at Iowa.
Exactly what he needed to do. Brightsman now will have to go on the charge right to the rear bumper of the 22. It'll pull down the front stretch as they head into turn number 1.
Brightsman with a big run into 1 and 2.
Just about got to the rear bumper and moved him out of the way there.
Into turn 3, Brightsman back to the bottom. But we've seen right here, Brightsman bobbling a little bit throughout the last 10 laps or so. Not sure if Brightsman wants to have Lar to the outside of him if he was to bobble and slide up the track.
Into turn 3. Same line through there. One another. I have to imagine Brightsman may just want to cool it down a bit because he seemed like he was taking the entry into the corners really aggressively. I have to imagine that's going to heat the tires up just a tad.
And it looks like he is settling down as now it's Brightsman's turn to have to cool the tires off. He gets a little bit of a run through 3 and 4 that time. But Lar continues to lead.
We'll get to the bumper. No, not quite. Not quite. And now they have flat traffic racing side by side. See if that plays any factor. But once again, we've seen how good that 46 is in traffic. See how well he can maneuver guys racing side by side in traffic.
And we didn't really see Kyle Lar get tested in traffic as he was kind of just following Jason Berg and Sean Brightsman through traffic. We haven't seen Kyle Lar be the one leading the way through traffic yet, so we don't know what he's got going into traffic. We're about to find out, though.
If Brightsman can't use that to his advantage.
Boy, Brightsman lost a lot of ground to Kyle Lar that time by. That's going to take him a couple laps to catch up. And it looks like that battle in front of them between Ted Shan and Seth Fraser has settled down at the perfect time for Kyle Lar.
It did, and Shan kind of in that middle groove at the moment seemed like he was favoring the high side. See if these guys will let the leaders by easily. Lar underneath the 13. I'll hold him up just a little bit off corner exit, but does get by.
So Lar clears and puts a big move there to put a car between him and Brightsman. This is going to allow Lar to put some distance between himself and Brightsman because as long as Brightsman's behind that 13 car, Kyle Lar can put some gap.
Brightsman not getting to the lap car as quickly as I thought he would. Seems like he'll be able to get to the inside maybe through this corner. taking a little bit longer than I expected.
I'm almost wondering if Brightsman's gone into fuel-saving mode, because that competition caution came about 15 laps earlier than we expected. Might fuel mileage come into play in the later stages of this one?
Very well could. Like you said, I would have thought that splitting the race up in half would have been better, but I guess they felt that lap 60 was okay. I mean, we'll have to see if they can make it to the end. I believe they would be able to. That's only about 100 laps, 90, somewhere around there, so.
Well, I think with the way Brightsman's Watkins Glen run ended, I think fuel mileage would be at the absolute epicenter of his mind right now, knowing how that race wound up ending for Brightsman, with him running second, coming to the checkered, running out of fuel, and just barely coasting across to finish fifth.
Well, like you said, Kyle Larr putting some distance now over he and Brightsman. Brightsman did get by the 13 of Ted Shan. And you can see there a good battle on screen at the moment. Josh Williams and Chris Walters going at it. Williams will take the spot over. And one car that's been going the wrong direction is Paul Ross. Back to 7th at the moment. And doesn't look like that car has been great on this long run, as he's been slowly dropping back.
So longer run definitely not working out for the 85 of Paul Russ, but it seems the longer the run goes, the better that 22 car gets, as he's opening up a second over Sean Brightsman. Granted, he's been in lap traffic, but let's see what happens here as we are inside the final third of this one.
There are 40 laps to go. And like you said, that gap increasing for Kyle Larr. That car definitely does look like it's been a long run car. Like you said, in traffic, he's just been kind of following guys through. But he's been able to work past these 2-lap cars pretty good. Obviously, they weren't battling at the time, so getting them by one at a time.
We take a look a little bit deeper in the field. That's Josh Childress, the 77, who missed a few races on the tour. He was up in the mix at Richmond earlier the year, a track that this track we're at now draws a lot of comparison to. So definitely good to see Josh Childress back in the field tonight and having a pretty solid run in that 77 car, up in the 5th spot right now.
That's a great rebound from the incident he had earlier where he almost got turned around by the 85 of Paul Ross on lap 1. So good to see him in the top 5 at the moment, and got a battle there, 88 of Rusty Webb and BJ Tidrick. But Greg, it kind of looks like what we saw in the B main, where we get a little bit later into the race and everyone's just kind of single file, kind of biding their time or trying to see what their car is doing.
And I'm wondering if some of these guys are banking on one more caution for their strategy, because no one's really making any moves right now. I think someone's hoping that there's going to be a caution so they can get closed back up and make some noise at the end. One guy who definitely wants this thing to stay green the rest of the way is race leader Kyle Larr in the 22, especially after the way Myrtle Beach wound up unfolding.
Well, that big battle we had a look at earlier is not really gone away. Bart Hector Jr. and Christopher Heim still going at it back there. It's for the 13th spot, but those 5 cars really haven't gotten away from each other. James Paulson's still leading that, and kind of nose to tail with he and Gary LaViolette and Daniel Masters.
Just goes to show that just because the race for the lead is settling down doesn't mean the racing action itself is settling down at this track. This is one of the raciest tracks in iRacing, and we're seeing why, because this battle is all the way back outside the top 10. LaViolette gets into Paulson in front of this. They keep it all pointed straight, but there was contact there between the 86 and the 80.
And that moves Paulson back a spot. LaViolette up 1. Daniel Masters going to try and go on the charge. Almost got to the rear bumper there. And Bart Hector Jr. had to check up just a little bit.
There you saw the contact between LaViolette and Paulson. Both guys did a great job saving it there as we go single file now back here in this battle.
All three of those guys working all three lanes. That was the coolest shot. They all settle back down now.
And Christopher Heim, the 51, still has not settled on a line. We've seen him up against the wall. Now we're seeing him down almost on the apron. Masters got the wall. And it was a big hit on the wall for the 3.
Had to have the 82 and 51 check up. And Hector Jr. will not quite get to the rear bumper. And Heim taps the wall just a tad. Doesn't look like it'll hurt the car. Now we'll have to get back up to that group.
So things settling down right now. Masters again gets the wall. And if you're Hector, you want to get around this 3 car as quickly as you possibly can, or at least try to be on the inside of him the way he has hit the wall off turn 4 2 laps in a row. I'm expecting Hector to take a very low line through 3 and 4. No, he stays relatively in his tire tracks.
He's going to get it again. And just ahead of them, James Paulson going to go to the inside, the 86 of the Violet. But Gary will have the advantage off the corner. So that's 3 laps in a row that 3 has caught the wall on the front straightaway. Will he make it forward? No, not that time, but you did have a little wiggle off the corner, so a little bit of relief for that right side.
So Masters able to get off turn 4 that time, and he was able to catch up to Paulson and LaViolet. Let's take a look. Boy, look how high up Heim is. He's up in the Larson line for sure that time by.
I guess it's good to have the knowledge that your car can work anywhere you want. I think he was almost scraping the wall that time. He was so close, but trying to work any line he can. Kind of interesting where all of these guys almost were up in that higher groove, that 3rd line.
And now Daniel Masters is going to get a run on James Paulson. He gets a big bobble that time.
All of them still single filed. Masters is going to try and get a run down the back stretch. Nothing will come of that.
Back up here to the battle for 4th between McKinney and Childress. That's actually the battle for 3rd now, as they both got around Scott Mann. We were watching the battle back there, didn't realize they both cleared Mann.
Chris Walters down pit road.
That is a huge amount of damage on the 24. You see the race leader Kyle Larr go by there, trying to figure out what happened to the 24.
Something may have
He was our
happened
early
earlier.
leader, was the 24.
Well, now he is 2 laps down, so something must have happened earlier that we unfortunately missed. But it's like he'll stop in his pit box, see if the night will be over.
Meanwhile, up front, Kyle Larr has opened up a 1.2 second lead over Sean Breitzman, and then it's 7 seconds back to the battle between McKinney and Childress. So Kyle Larr, I think right now, maybe going into conservation mode. He's got a big lead over Breitzman that continues to grow. So, Justin, if you're Kyle Larr, are you slowing it down right now, or are you trying to get as big a gap as you can?
I mean, I'd have to imagine that at this point, you have that lead. You don't have to push it harder than you need to, but I'm just not sure if Breitzman's giving it all he's got, or if he's waiting for possibly a 20 or 10 lap to go push. The car just doesn't seem like the same car that he had a while ago, but to be fair, both those cars really fast.
Meanwhile, the battle continues between Childress and McKinney for the 3rd spot.
Childress to the inside. Side by side through 4.
Doesn't quite clear him.
McKinney has that run from that high side. And I think it'll be the same story off 4. Doesn't quite have him cleared. Not quite the same momentum off 2 for the 48. And now Childress will clear him.
Childress clears for the third spot off of her number 4, but back comes McKinney on the outside. Paul Ross has gotten around Scott Mann as well.
20 laps to go here in Iowa. We're coming down to the end here, coming close. That checkered flag falling. Kyle Lark still your leader, 1.2 seconds over Brightsman. That was that battle you were seeing there before. Childress in third, Travis McKinney in fourth, and Paul Ross here in fifth.
This battle still has not settled at all. No change in position, but still racy right now.
And these guys are racing so hard, actually, that the leader, Kyle Larr, is not too far behind these guys. Bart Hector Jr. goes down to the bottom. He's going to let Christopher Heim go. I'd almost have to think, yeah, he's coming to pit road. Bart Hector Jr. is. Possibly a problem with that 82.
Wondering what's going on with the 82.
The car looks relatively clean.
Justin, could he have been running out of fuel?
I don't feel like that. He also misses a stall a little bit, so getting in. I wouldn't think that fuel's an issue here. These guys wouldn't call a caution or get that competition caution if they knew that they weren't going to make it. I wouldn't think so. Maybe other issues preventing the 82 from. The 82
Hector
is back on the track, so.
Yeah, he rejoins the field. Not sure what happened. We'll have to see if we can catch up with him.
15 to go, and that 22 just continues to extend his lead. Now it's about 1.7 seconds. So if that 46 had a point where he thought he would go, I would thinking now would be about that time.
Yeah, now is definitely go time with how far away the 22 is from the 46. If Sean Brightsman has anything left, he needs to show his hand, and he needs to show his hand now.
I think that he's trying a bit of a different line at the moment, up towards that high side.
He's taking a way higher entry than we've seen out of him in the 46.
If that'll work, I mean, I feel like it may be a little too late to start experimenting with lines, but never know. Kyle Lark could get caught up in traffic.
Brightsman had a big bobble off turn 4 that time.
Well, one thing of note, the next cars that 22 will catch, I don't think he'll catch them or he'll be there in time, but if he is, it's that big pack that we were watching earlier with Gary LaViolette and James Paulson, Christopher Heim, and Daniel Masters.
And Justin, you mentioned that Kyle Larr might catch up to those guys. If he does, with the size of the lead he has and now inside 10 laps to go as he crosses the strike this time, do you think he'd be content to just follow them the rest of the way?
Oh, absolutely, because we're in 10 laps to go at this point. I don't think he'll have enough time to catch them, but if he does, it's not going to really matter. Man, Sean Brightsman just took 2 lap cars in the middle, 3 wide, trying to catch up as quickly as possible.
Well, Brightsman has definitely realized that go time is show time here at Iowa. 1.6 seconds the last time by 1.7 that time.
Got word that the 24 is out of the race here tonight. We actually have a lot of cars off the track at the moment. First one off, or put it like this, first one a lap down is that 47 of Josh Robinson. First car out of the race is the 24 of Chris Walters, Garrett Huffines, Dylan Huffines, Chance Overholt, Jason Berg, Matt Hackthorne, and Jade Williams also out of the race. That's actually quite a few number of guys that big name guys in this in the series that are out of the race already, or out of the race here tonight.
3 previous winners this season out of the race. And before halfway also. Well, looks like the Huffines brothers made it about to halfway. But closing stages, and Justin, that 22 is not showing any signs of slowing down.
No, he's not, and he is starting to get closer and closer to that pack. But again, I don't think there'll be enough time for him to really get caught or held up by this semi-big pack there. And to be fair to them too, they've all kind of single filed out and gotten calmed down. So I don't think it'll be an issue should this leader get there to get by.
Coming to 5 laps to go for Kyle R. Just under 5 miles left from Kyle R. in this one.
And at this point, unless this 22 makes a mistake, it's his race to lose now. Should we get a caution, we will not be going back green flag racing. So as long as he keeps it straight for these next 4 laps, he will be able to redeem himself from 2 weeks ago at Myrtle Beach.
And what a bounce back it would be as we're inside 4 to go now for this one. What a bounce back this would be for Kyle R. if he can make it these last 4 laps.
Absolutely. It was one mistake that cost him the win 2 weeks ago. And now showing how strong his car is. Looks like on the long runs. And been a strong showing. He got up to the lead a little late, but nonetheless, he avoided 2 incidents here tonight that were near disasters. I'm still not sure how he missed those wrecks, but did. Worked his way up to the front and is now in position to take this checkered flag coming to 2 laps to go.
Definitely a statement for Kyle R. just 2 laps away from his second career iRacing.com Northwest Tour victory, first of the season.
Oh,
And-
the 51 of Christopher Hine on the
right
wall.
in front of him. Can he get through? Yes, he will. Caution is out. That's it. Race is over. Kyle R. has just picked up a win.
Without, I mean, you almost, man, how many times can you see your life flash before your eyes in a race? Oh, man, that was a hard hook for that 51 in the wall. And, I mean, Kyle wasn't too far away from that either, so, I mean, one wrong move and he could have been involved, but... Alright, so here's the look from the 42, or the 22. As the pace cars picked him up on the back straightaway. And he saw something starting to brew there early, so... Well, they have been picked up by the pace car. This race will end under caution. And the 2 fastest in the race, well, there were 3. One of them involved in a wreck earlier. Sean Breisman will come home in second, but the story of the race is that 22. He will rebound from last week at Myrtle Beach and pick up the checkered flag. Kyle R. wins here tonight at Iowa.
Kyle R. wins the dang war at Iowa.
Avoids 3 wrecks in his way to that checkered flag. And sweet redemption he will have tonight.
It's his second career iRacing.com Northwest Tour victory, first of the season, and I can guarantee you he is one very, very, very happy young man behind the wheel of that 22 car right now.
Well, the top 3 will get lined up for pictures, and does a quick burnout there. Might as well celebrate. You worked this hard to get here. Making sure some of those rubber marks, those tire tracks are in the pictures. Man, that was slick. That was slick.
Think he's done that before?
Yeah. Producer's been killing me tonight.
Oh, there you see your top 3. Kyle R. picks up the win with Sean Breitzman and Josh Childress rounding out the top 3.
I'll tell you what, if these Northwest Tour officials know what's good for them, they won't make that just a picture. They'll make a GIF of that with that 22 sliding into that three-way picture. Man. All right, well, Greg, let's see if we can't catch up with third place Josh Childress.
Hey, Josh Childress, Greg Rentz in the tower. Got a copy. Josh Childress, Greg Rentz in the tower. Got a copy.
Yeah, you guys got me?
Yep, there you are, Josh. All right. You first start back in a few races, and here you are on the podium with a good battle to the end with Travis McKinney, and you come out on top. Welcome back to the tour, and welcome to the podium.
Thanks. Feels good to be here.
All right, Josh, tell us a little bit about that run, because you guys had a great battle between you and Travis McKinney, Scott Mann in there as well. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, them guys, it's always a fun time to race with them. I just kind of saved my stuff early on, got back to the back and just kind of rode and made it up to 8th. I think it's a 60-lap break. And then after that, just kind of, I figured out a line that worked for me and saved tires. So I just kind of kept my routine and hit my marks and, you know, just let them guys try to wear their tires out, I guess. And I still had some. So it worked out pretty good.
All right, Josh. Well, you are back in the tour on third. We'll let you go celebrate. Congratulations on the third place, and we'll see you next week in Stafford.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was Josh Childress, and Justin, you've caught up with second place, Sean Breitzman.
Yes, sir. Sean Breitzman, 3YTV. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
All right, well, unfortunately, it seemed like once that 22 got by, just couldn't really get back up there. But that car, either way, was bad fast tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. We had a great run, led some laps. Kyle just seemed to be a little too quick for me there in the long run, and I probably burned up the right rear a little too much there, and just couldn't surmount a run to try to get back by him and catch up to him.
Well, either way, I mean, you had to start from the B main, but you started 12th there, got 4th, and then you started, I believe, 18th here tonight and finished 2nd. That car, like we said, was fast. Seemed like you could put it anywhere you wanted it to, and I mean, I've never seen a car quite like that.
Yeah, it was overall a great night, like I said. I mean, the B main, that was a trying moment. I totally botched qualifying all on the driver there, but we're able to drive up through the field there and get a top 4 and advance without a provisional. So starting at the back, we had some incidents around us, but we kept the car clean, and on that mandatory pit stop, get tires and fuel, we took the lead, and I was hoping to check out, but like I said, Kyle was just a little faster than me tonight.
All right, well, we move on from a fairly wide racetrack to one of the smaller ones in Stafford Speedway. What's the thoughts over there?
Gosh, it's been a long time since I've been to Stafford, so I will be refreshing my memory. Looking forward to it, though, in the super lates. In this league, it's going to be a lot of fun anyway, so I look forward to it.
All right, well, before we let you go, you have any sponsors or shout-outs that you have to give?
Yeah, I just got to thank Wicked Chassis Racing, Waldsbeard Co., Central Welding Supply, and Virtual Racing Network, all for sponsoring our team here in the Northwest iRacing Tour.
All right, Sean, well, congratulations on second here tonight, and we'll see you at Stafford.
Thanks, Justin.
All right, that was second place, Sean Breitzman. Greg, you caught up with the winner.
Yeah, Kyle Lahr, Greg Rentz in the tower. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, congratulations, man. What a bounce back after what happened. We're taking a look back at your burnout right now as you kind of slid it directly into the picture. But, man, that's how you bounce back. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm just really, really happy to get the monkey off my shoulder, and I just had a really good car. Once I know I got in front of Breitzman, I could just pull away and just check out. I was a little worried on field, but I saved just enough.
All right, man. Like you just said, you finally were able to bounce or get that monkey off your back. Big bounce back after the heartbreak 2 weeks ago. Now we head to Stafford, and Kyle, do you like your chances there to go 2 for 2?
I think I got a good shot there. I just got to keep calm like I did this race and just work my way up. But hold on, I also want to thank, since they're watching, my mom, my dad, my fiance, and my brother.
All right, giving some thanks. And Kyle, we're looking at your burnout in slow motion on the replay right now. Man, how good did that one feel to be able to whip that thing sideways and finally get to celebrate?
Man, it feels amazing, honestly. It feels like I'm a baby walking for the first time.
All right, well, we'll let you go celebrate. Kyle Lahr, congratulations, my friend. We'll see you next week in Stafford.
Thank you, and also I want to thank Joe's for giving me the chance again this year.
All right, that's Kyle Lahr, race winner Justin. Kyle Lahr gets the monkey off of his back after the heartbreak 2 weeks ago. A redemption win for Kyle Lahr tonight.
Yes, sir. And I mean, I would say the best 2 cars here tonight come home 1 and 2. Of course, Jason Berg was also one of the faster cars, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the greatest of nights and will take a big or a decent hit in terms of points. But we still have a long ways to go in terms of our race to the final event. So see if he can't grow that out a little bit more. But good to see Kyle Lahr get to victory lane. We know how much he wanted it at Myrtle Beach. Finally gets it here tonight at Iowa.
All right, so here we go through the race results. Kyle Lahr getting the win. Sean Breitzman in second with Josh Childress rounding out the podium. Travis McKinney and Scott Mann round out the top 5.
Yes, sir. Newcomer Paul Ross going to finish 6th here tonight. BJ Tidrick in 7th. Rusty Webb 8th. James Paulson 9th. And Daniel Masters rounds out the top 10.
There's our 11th through 20th. Gary LaViolette comes home in 11th. Josh Robinson 12th. Christopher Heim, Seth Fraser, and Ted Shan top 15.
Bart Hector Jr. will come home in the 16th position. Brad Morrison 17th. Chris Walters, unfortunately, will come home 18th. That car was fast tonight, as well as Garrett Huffines. Really couldn't get a chance to start here again this week, and looks like the internet woes continued on to Dylan Huffines. It come home 19th and 20th, respectively.
And rounding out the field, couple of guys who we expected to be up making noise in this one. Chance Overholt, Jason Berg, and Matt Hackathorn, with Jade Williams rounding out the field.
All right, well, it was a great race here tonight, Greg. A lot of racing, as usual. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Again, I'm not sure how much better it can get, but saw a lot of great racing here tonight, and I'm sure it'll be the same story next week at Stafford. That is next week, January 27th. Hope to see you there. For Greg Rentz and Carlos Costa, I'm Justin Kolb. Thank you for watching here tonight, and we'll see you next week at Stafford.
Tidricks Quality Transmissions. Come see us today. Thank you.